Okay, yeah, a few words about me. Just as I was introduced, I'm Kirill, CEO and co-founder in Nord Beaver. We are HTML5 game developers. We are based in Tivat, Montenegro. I'm 37 years old and 14 are in game development industry. So what this session is about, what strategic session is as an event, it's just a communication event that helps teams be on the same page in strategic view. This event, this tool allows teams, mainly business layer of management, and middle management and also execution layer of team to be on the same page with their vision, with the clear view how everyone in this chain is able to do his best or her best to be in the end point in success. A few words about the company, a few words just about our being. We started in July of 2020s, in the age when COVID was in the peak. And in that moment, all my past experience, all my motivation told me that there is nothing that stops you now from starting your own business. It was not a first attempt, but yeah, for that moment it was clear a vision how it can be started. We started from scratch, so nothing was on fundament, and we started as outsourcing company, but for now we are creating mostly our products, and outsource is just a small piece of business. And from the beginning, from just the first days, our strategy, our goal is really ambitious. It's to create trend of HTML5 gaming tool. And one of our features one of our values is to be focused on our strengths to perform the best result as well. A few words about the brand, about the identity. When we discussed just in front talk about naming of game studios, one of my friends told me, true game development studio should be named like an animal and some kind of feature of this animal. And I really like this idea, and imagining how can my company in future can be named. I come to the beaver animal, who is really hardworking. They're cute but serious in the same time. And being not big animals, they're changing and creating ecosystems. They're changing the reverse flow, and that's really a global thing that small animals are doing. Also creating company, I was focused on brand and identity, and I was really impressed by American sports team like from NHL, NFL branding, and the idea was to create some kind of global, clear brand that will be just understandable all over the globe. And also I've been creating teams, game development teams, just previously for years in different companies, and I have just strong point of view that the culture, that values of the team are really fundamental thing. And it was just even before Netflix book that a lot of managers had read, and like it, but this part of understanding that culture strategy is from the beginning in Nord Beaver. So yeah, it's just a few words about culture and just about understanding. In 2016, I joined Arcadium team. It's a company based with headquarters based in New York, and managers are from the USA, and they really are seriously working. They seriously work with their HR brand, with their culture, and for me it was, you know, like re-understanding of my business approaches. So since that, I figure out that culture, what is culture, how to work with that, and how to build that, and so that's also why I'm like being CEO, speaking about HR a lot. What are Nord Beaver's culture and why it's important? We are a young company. We are growing permanently, being like startup, and it's really important that all people in the team, mostly connected with management, mostly connected with building communications, were on the same page with the same personal and professional values. So we really are strict in hiring. So some features, some people strengths like directness and frankness are really important for us. For example, you know, in the US culture, there is some kind of thing called non-direct feedback. It's just cultural thing when people try to explain, to give a feedback not directly, just telling, guy, here you failed, but tell that, okay, let's try to remember how it was happening in that book, and character in that book just made a mistake. Let's remember that. And in our culture, no. We are really direct, we are really lean in communication. If you think that something is happening, just tell. Guys, here we are going just to be failed because this and this. And also, focus of proactivity, focus of self-driven approach is really important because of if you see some kind of potential zone when the company can grow, we really wait from just expect from the person that a personal driven approach will help. Also, we figured out that people speak a lot about life and work and life balance, but being a startup, it's just not an option. First, we're not about crunching. We're not about just burning on our workplaces, but some kind of our job questions about collaboration, about this, I don't know, thing that we can apply for our products. We're discussing all the time, even just when we meet on holidays, and started to call it like work and sleep balance. But it's not really, you know, it's not a thing that you can sell, for example, for new employees and for new people in the team. So we understand that it's not a work event, it's our lifestyle. So we live with understanding that we build a game development business and we're driving it, and that is our life. So that is really thing that is very important in building and scaling the team. And driving the business just from scratch growing this business, some issues with communication with same field of context started to appear very soon. I mean, not just immediately, but with the fast speed of business growth, just a year has passed. And we started, especially me, started to understand that in my way of thinking, in my just head, I see everything that's happening with business. I see like in at least 6 months perspective, and that is comfortable for me. So, and even just some plans are for a year. And what I'm doing as just as a part of this business, I'm driving all direction of the business to these goals. And team, just people who work with art production, people who work with just coding, they are all in routine tasks. They live like in 1 or 2 week sprints, and for them it started to be some kind of a mess because they are all in these projects. They are all in sprint planning and execution, retrospectives, and they see like it's separate parts of the whole business. They see their project and they see this very compact time periods, and it started to become really hard to synchronize. They stopped understanding where the business is moving forward, why that's happening, and just in the moment, for me, it's appeared to be some kind of mess. People are in this mess of various outsourcing projects. I have some goals to pivot business to product model of operations, and people stop to understand why I'm telling things like, okay, let's try to put more resources on our project. Let's do this, let's do that, and I think that it was in the end of previous year, maybe in November. I understood that part of the team is really out of the context, and we stopped. We're just in the beginning of the mess. Few words about the synchronization events. I've just a little bit. In brief, I just covered that, but. As a team, we have daily scrums about projects, weekly Monday meetings with the project update and plans, and we had Fridays meetings with retros. So as I've told, just the whole team, 20 Nord Beaverians, just had a daily understanding what's happening with each project. They had clear vision of what was done in general for the last week, what updates are connected with business, with, I don't know, with budgeting, with the legal part. And also just everyone was able to just express personal feeling in the end of the week, just tell what's happened, what important takeaways from this week were, but it doesn't cover some kind of strategic point of view, what is just in my head, what our top managers are focused. And yeah, so as I just told previously, it started to become some kind of mess between routine and thinking forward ahead. And also in this break, in this just some kind of break between communications from execution part of the team and management, I also lost the thing that even I cannot show to the team where I want and how I want to lead the business at all, but also I can get the feedback from the team, what they think about this strategy. Because feedback is just a thing that is permanently improving products, business, and whatever. And simply, it appeared to just be some kind of separate parts of one thing that doesn't have a chance to speak with each other. Yeah, so I cannot plan and cannot execute anything connected with team concerns. I couldn't improve internal processes because management at all, and SEO especially, are people who are services for the execution team. So management layer in business is the layer that allows execution part to work without any headache, just simply doing their best, creating a card and so on. And we had no tools, and so we had no option to understand what is wrong and how we can help people. And yeah, so it comes to a point when we stacked in this communication swamp, and next, I mean this year, 2022, must become a year of breakthrough, of growth. And I understood that in the beginning of the year, we should have something that will allow us to synchronize, to, just to assemble like a spring and make a just breakthrough. And also I took part in some kind of events in New York, also in Russia, called strategic session. They call it also leadership retreat, but whatever. It's the event when we met with the management team or just with the whole team together, and it was some kind of different experience between just one format strategic session with each other, but always it was the tool that helped teams to clarify where they are and what the team is able to perform together, to act the best way, and what each of this team is able to make to lead the business to really new level. And in that moment, it was just, I think, the end of November and beginning of December, I started to search for a person who will help us to build this tool called strategic session. Because inside, in my opinion, inside it's really hard to find a person who is able to collect all of us and became some kind of mediation person and to look on all of us from the side and to make everyone think in the same way. And then, just on one meeting, offline meeting with my friends, I've heard about the coach. She has been working with really various teams, just like big government teams, small businesses, big businesses, remote teams, and so on. And they told me, Julia helped us to pause the session connected with feedback and managers. Just the whole past week, managers start to just work under the thing that they have never worked before, and just really good changes start to happen in the company. And it was really great recommendation for me. We had a call with Julia. And yeah, it was really interesting for me because first of all, when we started, I've been driving near my house, and she just looked in the camera. And like, okay, it's really familiar landscape. are you living in, do you live in that part of the city? Okay, yeah, we're neighbors, just 1 kilometer from each other. It was really good beginning of the call. And the call that was planned for half of a year lasted for an hour and a half at all, and it was really impressive that Julia, each of my thoughts that just appeared in my experience, she had how to explain it, how to just explain it from psychological point of view, and how to just tell that that all was discovered by science long ago, and everything that you just exploring in yourself like a leader and like a manager of the team, that was really known for very long ago. And in that day, I made a decision that that is a person with who I'm ready to launch this strategic session. And here we go. Next thing that I had to implement in the team was team resistance. As I've told, we are really open with each other, and I had a Friday call with the team where I told guys, I'm ready to announce strategic session with just Julia. That is her website, and yeah, after that, people started to send me direct messages and just Kirill, may we have just a call with you? And yeah, so it was really interesting that, well, we trust you, we respect you, but this is really some kind of info gypsies. It was just nothing for really big money. Please stop, don't do this. It will not help us. But yeah, sometimes as a leader, there is no chance to be weak, and I was absolutely sure that it's the right person. I was absolutely sure that we need to proceed with this, and I had to just ask people to trust me, and this kind of cultural fund that we have created, cultural fund of trust, let me have my people calm and have my people trust me. Few words about the session as an event. It is not single day event at all. Everything started even in the first days of December. Julia with her team had a short interview, it could be voice interview or it could be chat in Telegram with each person in the team. And they get really huge feedback from the team, from each single person from the team, and created big report. So, for example, each of these points was assembled as a document, and at least it was like 5-6 pages documents for each point. There were direct answers and there were analytical part when they describes why people just gave such feedback. This document, this report with a survey took about a month, maybe even more. I think that it was a month and a half. And Julia sent me this report just in a couple of days before strategic session. Also, the strategic session as itself was planned for a single day. then, in that time, we had an office only in St. Petersburg, and part of the team is remote, and part of the team had a chance to meet with each other in office. And we made it in hybrid mode. Just part of the team was connected in Zoom, and just part was able to work together in office. And after that, Julia with the team made a report, because they took all notes during the strategic session. And after the months from strategic session, we also passed retrospective, how we are implementing all things that we had achieved during the session. And that document that appeared after survey was really something breaking through for me, because as I told, I was permanently broadcasting these values to the team. And it was some kind of, okay, these are our values and we should act such a way. And I was expecting that people in the team just apply these values. These values are same like for me, and I expected only feedback. I expected only some kind of just models of behavior from this. But definitely it was a little bit bigger than I expected, because people was not only receivers of this broadcast, but they started to broadcast it inside the team. And all these values appear to be really stronger than I was thinking about that. And in this evening before strategic session, I figured out that main value of Nord Beaver, crew, is just being for people. Being for people, like for us, each other, working, producing, that we just are producing for each other, and working for external people, just people on this globe. And for me, even now, just I remember this, and some kind of really great warm feeling. And with that feeling, we started this event. So I won't tell just like about the schedule. It was really various combination of different tools inside the schedule. Interesting that we had some kind of just one-on-one calls and group calls, and we discussed really only strategic things. Okay, I had just interesting thing, but it's 18 plus and it be censored, so yeah, I won't tell. So interesting thing that. Okay, yeah, I will tell. I will tell in just key takeaways. Two things that are not here. So it really helped us to make a step out of this swamp of routine and miscommunication. What can be improved? We passed strategic session in the single day and in hybrid mode. And it was really big mistake, because the part of the team that was online with us, they didn't get a lot of from atmosphere, from being with each other. They cannot hear everything that we've discussed. And so it was some kind of half purpose for them. And second thing, that we've passed it in a day. And two, I think that even about 3 p.m., we were absolutely tired. And usually, as I remember, after that, strategic session should be separated into 2 days. One is some kind of creative retrospective, and second is more just for exact planning and so on. Um, we decided that this event, this tool is really efficient, and we really liked it, and we decided to launch it at least once in a year, and next time it definitely will be offline, and definitely all mates will just be offline there. And two things that are not listed here. One thing that we advised to us in future, how it would say, just soft in English. Okay, let it be. Do not be afraid of being too cocky. Just after the record will stop, I'll tell it in Russian how it sounded. But and also the thing that we discussed that GameFi is really exciting thing, and also we had an idea that implementing adult games in GameFi is really interesting idea. So just during strategic session, we registered domain pussyfy.games. So yeah, it was some kind of starting not to be afraid, being cocky. And that's all. I think that it was really just chaotic, but I also expect that I could give you some useful information. And if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Kirill, for such a nice session.
You're welcome.
Do we have any questions from the audience? No, so far. Okay, yeah, one.
Thank you for the talk. And the question is about maybe can you predict some influences on your team because of last situation, and influences on your team and maybe on
yeah. So what happened after that? What changes in the team happened? Yeah, I think that team. First of all, what happened? Team started to, to feel more comfortable to speak directly with each other for some kind of worries or just simple questions. Because in office it's really simple to just to come to your mate just in the desk near you and ask anything. And in remote team, usually it's not just thing that works well. Just okay, we should have a short call, 5 minutes. I have just a few questions, and people stopped being afraid to request direct communication. They started to feel more free to clarify even small issues. And second thing, that people in the team understood that we, as a business, as management, really wait for this initiative, even it doesn't connect with their direct roles. For example, just a month ago, one of our artists came to me and said, I had the concept of the game. I don't think that is just the concept. Game design custom document is really cool, but I have an idea and I had no chance not to show it to you. And we looked and we started production of this game. And that is two main things. Also, I think, I hope so, that team just has more strategic view on what's happening. And these were three main changes for me.
Any more questions? Yeah. Let's pass the mic.
Hey, thanks. I wanted to ask, what was wrong for you with indirect feedback? Why you stick with direct feedback?
It was not wrong. I think that it more lean to set directly what I think, what just, or it's not a.
Yeah. So basically, maybe for example, for me, direct feedback would be saying, yeah, this piece of art is shit, just throw it away and remake it. And indirect feedback would be something like, it was like a good job, but maybe there is some place for improvement, and you can do this and this and this. And in one case, a person may feel like a shit, and in another case, it may feel like he tried, but there is like space to do better.
Okay, yeah, I understand, but it's connected. I think that being people, like being human for each other, you won't tell seriously to a person you trust, you respect, that this is a shit. In the case that it's just some kind of, I don't know, it's not a bad work, but it's really shit. I mean, it really even can be called as just bad job. If we have such feedback, we usually tell, it's really bad because here you've made such thing wrong, such thing wrong, and to make it better, I think that it should be done such a way. But I don't think that anything can hurt if you tell that it's bad or just good. If you have constructive critic, if it's really just with arguments, that is fine. But we don't tell this is shit.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? If no, then I will ask one question. Oh yeah, one more.
Thank you for the presentation. So the question would be about those communication issues. Did it arise because the studio was growing rapidly, or because like the structure you had implemented working on various projects, and like, I don't know if a separate question or a follow-up, did I understand correctly that the main issue was that teams were working sort of in sprints where you had this long-term understanding, and so was it also a part of this sort of issue of communication? Thanks.
I think that main issue is connected that while we are growing, the things that worked just previous half of a year stop just being efficient in the same time. And it's really important to be ready for changes. And what worked previously just should be improved or even thrown out, and new process should be implemented. And in that moment, we were 1 year and a half old, and we had an option to work without strategic session previously. But the moment when we must implement this thing just became just, it was the moment to implement changes. So that's so. Even now we have a little bit various processes of communication than just even sprints have just a little bit another flow, because we have sprints for each project with dedicated teams, and after that we have daily, not sprint but Scrum, Scrum for each team, for each product, and after that we have Scrum for managers when we figure out that everything is okay with this management layer, with business goals and so on. And we permanently improving this, I think, this part of communicational tools.
Yeah, you're talking a lot about scrums. I mean, you perform a lot of that. Did you count the actual effectiveness of those? I mean, of those amount of scrums and how it affects the timings that you, manage in your production?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, just to be honest, it's really important thing. So a lot of scrums is not a just solution for being efficient. And what about me and what about just changes of my approach? From the beginning, I've been handling everything in the company. And when I had a chance to just invite strong manager, strong leader for part of expertise, in that moment when the person joined the team, I was able always to put my arms from this part of management. And for now, I'm not participating in projects scrums because managers on these projects use this tool as they want. And I'm only keeping just my eye on this management, and I'm even not a scrum master on these project managers calls. I'm just a stakeholder, and usually I don't even just make a word during these calls.
Thank you for your answer, and once again, great lecture. Thanks for sharing the experience.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. I will just have one more question. How has being a CEO and creating a startup from ground up has developed you as a person? What have you learned in that time personally?
Personally, I think that it's it's a question that the answer may took an hour, one more hour to answer. But first of all, just I understood and just applied some kind of this strategic way of thinking when some people usually just I know a lot of people who plan just a lot of things in their life. So one of my closer friends tells, if I just enter grocery with my wife, I know the plan. This, just turn left, take this from just shelf, and if she turned to another just side in the beginning, everything is just ruins, and that is just a shock for me. I don't understand how to live with that. And when just this year we just all see that world is changing, and for me it was just emotionally it was shock, but how I think, how just what is system in my head. I have some kind of these strategic goals. Half of a year, just a year, 5, 10. And I have system just of various risks. Some risks are positive, some risks are negative. Some are more real, some are less real. And I just, from daily and weekly perspective, I'm working with this risk and building some kind of net of this risk, turning into the goal, into the strategic goal. And previously, I was thinking about myself that I'm too chaotic. I cannot just plan really just detailed. But now I just applied that. That is me. That is fine. And also, as I've told, it's really frustrating and exciting in the same time. Being SEO, I'm just in a lot of SEOs as well, are thinking in perspective. And it's really just interesting to make self-retros. And okay, I have a plan for just a year. And I'm starting to be so excited that, yeah, for me it's becoming more like present. Yeah, so it's really mess, but for me it's also fine, just a typical way of thinking. So, okay, that is plan, and I'm just trying to make this system of risk starting from that point in the future, not now, but it's some kind of, I don't know.
Okay, so I understand that you started to embrace a bit of chaos in your life,
Yeah.
right? And you stopped micromanaging as much. I understand coming from the background where you do everything on your own, and then as
Yeah.
a startup, that's the kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But-
That's so.
But then you started zooming out and looking at the sort of the direction where you're going, and embrace the whole, like, different routes that you could be going
Yeah,
to.
just a
right?
small interesting thing connected with this high view. When I came here, just only yesterday, 5 a.m., I understood that there is no one who is able to manage work with DevGAMM Quest, and so because, okay, I have a goal to just to go on DevGAMM and to have booth here to just raise brand visibility and so on, but whoop, and I appeared in this point of micromanagement, and it was really interesting to just figure out that, okay, you should just be a little bit more on the ground, and that was really just some kind of switching the height, just the scale of visibility, and just things from strategic to the ground execution level.
Right, nice one, nice one. I think we had another
Yeah.
question, right?
Another question regarding the strategic session. So, as you mentioned before, you were planning to have them once or twice a year, something like that, yeah? On the operational side, so you had this event, everything was awesome, you see the retro after 1 month, you have some like milestones, understanding how the culture should change, but as it is like once every 6 months, how on the operational you can track and verify that you're still on track? Like, how do you know that it will not fall down like in 3 months?
There are tools for that. First of all, just major tool for that is called OKR, Objectives and Key Results. It's about strategic and quarter planning. But we so a little bit another just way to answer. We figure out that we want to handle the whole team session once a year, and for management also just a half a year after that. And this summer I had a plan to implement OKR, but it was also funny. We started session connected with OKR, and to the end of the session I understand that things are changing so fast that key results are out of date just a week after we planned them. And so now I think just in the process of thinking what can be not OKR, but with a tool with the same approach. So now it's mostly personal goals, but I do not know exactly for now how it can be built like a system.
Because actually that's a tricky question, because
Yeah.
in my previous work we had exactly the same situation and it all fell down like in couple of months.
Ah,
It's like
yeah,
a very
yeah.
hype time, yeah, we all just like drank and everything was awesome. Then everybody forgets and goes back to the routine as it happened before.
No. Here I need to say that goals that we set, global goals, are pretty same. Nothing has changed. This summer we even are so cocky and experienced that we just had a chance, not a chance, but we understood how to make plans for 10 years. And it was not some kind of imaginations, it was planning. Maybe a little bit crazy, but that's so. But on the part of execution, yeah, everything is just, it doesn't have any sense to make this the whole business key results for, I don't know, months or so on. Everything is changing. But in strategic point of view, nothing is changing. Just the goal we have, we are setting them so such a way that details are not important. We can achieve these goals such a way or another way. The goals are important. ways of just reaching out. Not a problem. Not the thing that should be concrete and stable.
Right. Thank you very much.